Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoyim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rahaha Chadash. Double honors to our apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M, Ahwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yah Chanan Nawach. It's coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. Just a little update on these wars, rumors of wars, and pretty much the allies of America as well, you know what I'm saying, coming up against this place. It's a lot of infighting, a lot of separation, a lot of division. And, you know, the scriptures talks about how, you know, that's that Matthew 12 and 25. It's also in Mark, I think that's 3 and 23 or so. But, you know, it talks about how a nation divided cannot stand, a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand, you know, and basically Edom is, you know, he's being chopped up. But at the same time, too, these other nations like China are coming up and taking advantage of this infighting that's going on amongst these Edomites. See, China just, you know, in the backdrop, just doing shit, you know what I'm saying, while these Europeans, so-called Europeans, because they're not Europeans, they're not so-called white people, they're actually Edomites. So while the Edomites are infighting the Moabites, that's the biblical name for the so-called Chinese, you know, they're building their shit up, you know, and they've been taking advantage, they've been, you know, taking full advantage of, you know, all the bullshit that's been going on over in Ukraine. See, while they've been over there in Ukraine, NATO and EU, you know, with their back and forth, you know, trying to support Ukraine and spending all that money, sending all those weapons there. And pretty much it was a waste of time because Ukraine, you know, got the ass kicked, still getting the ass kicked. And it's not going to be any changes with that. Then you got Trump comes in, you know, and he goes about trying to make a peace deal. And those Russians are like, fuck that. We don't give you, no, we're not, you know, giving up, you know, any land. We're not giving any land back. You know, what you're talking about is some bullshit. We're going to keep on pushing because basically you broke your word when it came down to, you know, not bringing NATO near our borders like how you're trying to do. And Ukraine is right there in the continent of, you know, Russia. That would be like, you know, NATO in Russia pretty much overall. But this is, it says satellite images reveal China expanding nuclear sites in Wuhan, if I'm pronouncing that right, Sichuan. But yeah, I went through a few of the sources. It's 37 sources to this article, and I like this app because this is Perplexity, the AI app. Again, you know, you may be able to. I know you can go to the App Store and they have a search engine and everything. You know what I'm saying, that you can go into. You know, pretty much it's just AI like a Chat GPT. It's got its perks though, you know. But I like this one because it gives you these sources, you know, going into other countries and how they feel about the situation and them giving, you know, their journalism on it as opposed to these Americans, you know, telling you what you should think and say and, you know, all this bullshit. Because they're going to give you the upside of America, basically. They're going to tell you that America's winning, America's doing the best, you know, all that bullshit. And in reality, it's not. But they're talking about, see, what happened with this pretty much is the START treaty from back in the days. So it says the building comes 10 days after the new START treaty expired. So America and Russia didn't renew that treaty, which is like 50 years old. They wanted China to get involved, and China was like, nah, we not, you know, deterring from doing what we got to do. Because you see, overall, you know, one thing I will say about these Moabites, they understand to not trust your enemy. They get it. They understand that Esau, Edom, the so-called white race is liars, man, and they're not going to keep any treaties. They're not going to keep anything that they say, because as soon as you stop your nuclear program, they'll come in and start bombing your ass. You know what I'm saying? You know, this man is not to be trusted. Matter of fact, I'm at this light. Let me grab this script real quick. So it's all playing out beautifully, man. What's that one? Ecclesiasticus 12:10. And it says, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching. And that's exactly what America is doing, like, oh yeah, we need to come back together. Matter of fact, you got Marco Rubio, and if you've been paying attention to him as of late, I think he's over in, what is that, Munich, or he's been making a few speeches throughout the world, as of late, talking a bunch of bullshit, but he's pretty much like, us Europeans, we have to come together, or we're going to just do this shit without you. Now, the Chancellor of Germany, I think his name is Merz, he was like, man, y'all can't do that shit on your own. You're pretty much, you're isolating yourself from the rest of your allies in the world, and you can't fight you can't fight China and Russia on your own. And America not winning no wars nowhere, man. They not, all these wars they've been at, America hasn't actually gone in and actually won any major wars, man. They go in and they take over little countries. They're not about to come up against nobody like China or Russia, man. And then Russia and China, they're allies. They go along with Iran. They go along with all the BRICS nations. You got all these nations that are coming up against Esau, and they're trying to, but that's that pride, man. Scriptures talks about pride going before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. And this place is very haughty. These Edomites are very haughty right now. I've throughout my years of being on the planet, we've always known Esau to be, even before coming into this truth, Esau is prideful as hell. But right now, these Edomites have a whole nother level of pride, and they shouldn't have it, because you're not even in power no more like that. You've lost your grip on the planet, and it's really not that you've lost it. It's just that it's time for it to stop. That 2nd Ezra 6:9, where it talks about Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau's whole system is falling, man. It's time for them to fall. Why you think the EU, NATO, all these are Edomite nations? Then you got Russia, just kind of like the lone wolf, just pretty much trying to hang on, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But they're all Edomites. It's the Edomites that have all the military might, all the nuclear might to blow the damn planet to pieces, man. China, but like I said, see, when you go into this article, China, they saying that China have an extra 1,000 nuclear warheads by 2030, because they got, Esau, he watching everything, so they got the satellite imagery where they're watching Moab put his shit together, and there's nothing that Esau can do about it. As a matter of fact, you got the Cuba situation going on with with Esau running into there, and grabbing up Venezuela. Like I said, they go in and they fuck with little countries. They pick on the little man. So they're trying to starve out Cuba, because Cuba was getting a lot of oil from Venezuela. Now Cuba is getting oil from, guess who? Of course, Russia. So what you think? America's about to bomb some Russian oil tanks? You think America's gonna go out here and just get the season Russian oil tankers and shit? That's just gonna cause more ruckus. See, they was doing that with the Venezuelan boats, or the shippers or tankers. They're not, they may try it with Russia, but at the same time too, because really, the beef with China is China was doing a lot of business with Venezuela, so it's billions of dollars that's tied up into America holding off their the deals that they had with Venezuela when they was getting that oil. So America just went in there and fucked up everything. So these so-called Chinese people, why would they do a unilateral agreement with you, and you done fucked up billions of their dollars when they dealing with a whole nother sovereign nation, and all of a sudden you want them to just come in on a deal with you and Russia to deter your nuclear warheads and shit like that? Ain't no people not listening to you. That's stupid as hell. Why would they? You know what I'm saying? You're fucking liars, man. But like I said again, so you have to look at these Moabites. They don't trust Esau. They know how Esau get down. Now they'll do business with Esau, but you better believe they got all eyeballs on this clown. They already done discussed in the backdrop what the potential or what they're gonna do just in case they do this or that or this or that or this or that, because they know that America, these Edomites, they don't keep their word, man. It's just like with the so-called Native American Indians. They didn't keep none of those treaties, man. You know, matter of fact, America fucked over China with the Panama Canal. That situation, if you remember when Trump first came in, so you don't even hear no talks of that no more. They went in and they pretty much took that shit over. You know, trying to block China's shipments and stuff like that. Well, so see, America's fucking with everybody, and then all of a sudden you want to come in and make a deal. These people are like, nah, man, that's the reason for BRICS. That's the reason for the BRICS nations. That's the reason for them, all those countries getting together and saying, you know what, we need to circumvent or get around this American dollar because they fucking us over. Whenever they want to use their American dollar to fuck with us, it fucks with everybody in the world. This guy Trump got the whole world fucked up right now. Not just America. His tariffs, these sanctions. He's unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do. He's up and down. The scriptures talked about meddle if not with those that are given to change. This man is changing his damn mind every day. And that's really the Lord got him bouncing back and forth. Got his ass ping-ponging and shit. Right? So these nations are like, nah, we good. But let me get this back again. See, this is China in a nutshell. That they're about that what they call it, I'm trying to think of that when they had a movie on it. It's a book on it though. Something that they philosophize in or whatever. What's it called? Anyway, never trust thine enemy. Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted swords is wickedness. Oh yeah, the art of war. You see, you got Trump, the art of the deal. No, see, them so-called Chinese people, they go back, man. They understand patiently just waiting. That's why the scriptures talks about not doing anything hastily. And America, Trump, he does everything hastily. He acts like a fucking child. He don't sit back and he lets his enemy knows all his moves beforehand. He talks too damn much. He's giving away damn secrets, or he talk too much. He's too damn prideful. Those so-called Chinese just kick back, just absorbing, watching him really just kick his own ass. And they're making their plans accordingly, man. They're using wisdom basically on when it comes to this worldly wisdom of how you get down in war, man. Like, matter of fact, America has lost that tariff war. Trump came to the table with all that big talking about tariffs. We're gonna put 100% tariffs on China. This and this. Man, China just like, we don't give a fuck. You fuck your own country over. You ain't fuck us over. China just went a whole new route. China just, kept doing, China got business going on with a lot of major countries, man, that America can't even get into now. Remember when they tried to go over there to Africa and try to get and slip in and try and make deals over there and shit like that? Because they understand that China is over there, moving through the damn continent, and making great progress with their Silk Road project or whatever it's called. Then America goes over there and try and do the same thing. And they're like, nah, man, get your asses out of here. You don't want nothing to do with you. That's why them BRICS nations, because a part of the BRICS is South Africa. So all the coups, all the, fucking up, people's economies and going into these different countries and, changing out the regimes, you know what I'm saying, by your CIA bullshit and all that. Them people know about you now, man. You're in their scopale, you're in their sight. So again, it says, though they humble themselves and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. See, these Chinese people, they like, nah, fuck that, man, all that. Yeah, we're the world superpowers. We need to come together and we need to, not get into a conflict, that can, let's save the earth. Let's save everything. The people, if this happens, if anyone was to go into nuclear war, it could be catastrophic. But motherfucker, you the reason why all these people have to get them type of weapons. Because they seen what you've done to Japan. Even Japan doing a little thing. You know what I'm saying? But see, these countries, China and them, you don't think they ain't see what you done to Japan? China like, nah, we ain't ever about to let you drop no goddamn bombs on us like that. The fuck out of here. But that was the whole thing with the, if you go to some of these articles, Like I said, they have 37 sources. But it says the satellite imagery shows rapid expansion of China's Pingtong and Zitong nuclear facilities believed to produce warhead cores and test high explosives, according to the New York Times, right? So, go around this like they got it in a bunch of other articles. Like I said, it's 37 sources, so you can get up on this story if you want to get up on it and do a lesson. But hey, the wars, rumors of wars, the things that Yahweh was speaking of, those things are coming into play, man. It's already happening. I mean, there's so many different things that's going on as far as the wars, rumors of wars. You know, America just done a strike on who the fuck is that? I think it had something to do with Iran. And you got you know, I seen some shit with Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday. And these people, man, they're the least of the flock, which is gonna get everything popping. Everything's gonna get popped off from them Israelis over there with all that bullshit trying to get America to go up against Iran, which is stupid, man, because you know it's like it's stupid on both ends. It's like you doofy ass Americans, why would you allow these small tops and a small state at that? You might as well call them the small state. Why would you let that little bitty ass couple of blocks over there, because that's all it is, you know, that little spot they call it a state ain't nothing but a couple of blocks in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Why would you let this little bitty ass country, well, we know what it is because they're insiders, they've taken over America, they've taken over the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? They've taken over Congress, they've taken over the Constitution, they run in America, that's pretty much overall. So they're using America as if it's their own country and their own military. Because you think, like, why would you allow these motherfuckers to push you into a war that you couldn't possibly win? But them Israelis don't give a fuck, bro. They do not care. They don't care, bro. Let me get on past this here. Israelis, see, they looking at you like your cattle when you're damn goyim, and they don't care about your children, man. They don't care about your children going to war for them. Cause see that little that Gaza shit that they done over there, that was nothing. That was a piece of cake for them. Because here you go, you have American might fighting against people that only got sticks and stones. Have you seen Gaza? Them people over there, man, you know, old school with a damn donkey. With a damn trailer attached to it, man, with some wheels on it, moving about like it's nothing, man. And shit, if it was really up to me, hell, I wouldn't even mind that shit myself. You know what I'm saying? You know, like you just chilling in your country and you just chilling. You know? Here you go with these Americans. You got to have a damn car. You got to have a fucking car insurance. You got to have, you know what I'm saying, pay for this expensive ass gas. You got to drive over these fucked up ass potholes. You know? But here over there in that place, you know what I'm saying, they just slowly moving along, got their little donkey with their carriage, you know what I'm saying, going to handle their business, going to the markets, doing what they got to do, you know, different regions. You let the West get involved and everything gets fucked up, like usual, man. This is Esau's, this is how he gets down, man. This man fucks up everything. So I'm going to end out, man. But it's all coming to a head because this is, you know, these people know what's to come. It says the buildup comes 10 days after the New START treaty expired, leaving no binding limits on strategic nuclear weapons for the first time since 1972. See? That's 50 years ago. So it's like everybody about to go nuts. Everybody about to go nuts with building damn bombs now. Guess who's not going to be building any bombs? The Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The worm, you know what I'm saying? Scriptures call Israel a worm because Israel don't have no might. Israel don't have no might here, man. Think about it. All these countries, that's how you know who the Israelites are. We're being ruled over by heathen, man. Instead of 2nd Ezra 6 and you know, I think 54 down, where it talks about these heathen and now they have begun to rule over us, but the Lord gave us into their hands. But also in that same chapter, verse 9, it talks about how Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. So hey, just look, keep an eyeball out, man, on these prophecies. Keep an eyeball out on these particular things, man. You know, there's no reason to be waking up every day and you got to get into the news like how you had to get into the scriptures. Should be scriptures first, prayer first off. Get into the scriptures and scroll through the news, man. Check out some of these articles, man. You know what I'm saying? Go to the world news. You don't necessarily have to be, locally, you're going to see a bunch of bullshit anyway. But no, you're going to get more prophecy lessons out of the world news. Pretty much the only prophecy lessons you were going to get out of the local news is Matthew 24:12, where, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of crime. You go see a gang of people fucking each other up because, the love of many is waxing cold in this place. That is a part of the prophecies, don't get me wrong. But, that major news is, checking out what these other countries are doing, seeing what the enemies of America, Babylon the Great, is doing. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look into some of this stuff, man. So with that, pray that this lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasha Allah and a bubble ball.